Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day or evening or whatever time it is for you. Today I kind of wanted to just talk about something which I think has been a pretty popular discussion topic in the last couple months I'd say. So I want to preface this by saying that I love this game. It's honestly one of my favorite games. I know that's probably not a very safe thing to say anymore because this game's been a bit interesting. But yeah, I feel like I kind of need to preface that because I don't want this to come off as me just trashing on the game, because that's kind of popular to do now. And there is, I guess, justifiable reasons, but I don't want this sounding like it's coming from a place of hate. I just want to see this game get better and move towards a better future. So, I think we can all agree that competitive has felt a bit not so great, for lack of better terms, over these last few weeks, even months, honestly. So, and there's a lot of reasons for that. Sometimes you have games that just don't feel fair at all. Like either you guys roll the enemy team or they roll you. To be fair, I've seen a bit less of that now. It still happens from time to time, but more often than not, a lot of my recent games have been mostly even. There's still sometimes a bit of more power on one side, but still, it's not like one team has like 20 kills each and the other has like five. So I think that's an improvement. But still, there's definitely games where it just doesn't feel fair or balanced at all. And then you also have those games where you have a teammate or two who just aren't doing that well. Now, I want to say I understand that from time to time, a lot of people have bad games. I mean, to be fair, I have bad games every now and again. But, sometimes it's just a bit. It's not like they're not trying, it's just that they're not really listening. So, communication is very important, and it sucks when the entire team's on like one wavelength, like you all understand what the plan is and how to do it, but then you have a tank that overextends, a DPS that keeps getting caught out of position, or a support that either heal bots, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world, but you really shouldn't be heal botting ever, or one that decides to be a bit trolly and go like DPS mode, which again isn't always a bad thing, but it's good to have a balance. Like, it just takes one teammate to kind of throw things off for you. Now, it's definitely possible to still win like that, but if it's like your tank, your chances get pretty low. If it's a DPS or a support, it still kind of makes your chances a bit less, but it's not as detrimental because there's two of each, whereas you only have one tank. So games like that also feel pretty bad. Now, you're not always gonna get a bad teammate. Like, if you think about it, I heard this before. I can't remember who said it, but if you yourself know and are confident in your skills, then you only have what a 1 in 4 chance of your teammate being bad, whereas the enemy teams no, sorry, your team only has 4 chances to have a bad player, whereas the enemy team has 5 chances. So from the start, if you're a competent player, your chances of your team being good is higher than the other teams. Also, it I'm sure you all have heard of the fabled 50-50. You know, if you win 10 games in a row, then there's a chance that you're going to lose 10 games in a row. Or if you start off your session by going 1-8, you'll end it going 8-8, or 7 or 9-8, you know? Which I don't think it's ever been confirmed that that's true, but it definitely feels like it. And I'm pretty sure almost everyone will tell you that this game definitely feels like a 50-50 simulator. Which, honestly, that makes winning just not feel that good. And the reason that is because say you would win, I don't know, say you win 8 or 9 games in a row. You're like, cool, we're going on a pretty big win streak. I love this. Then you remember and you kind of think, okay, are the games gonna keep up like this and just toss in a loss every now and again? Or am I about to go on a massive losing streak? Which oftentimes it is the second option, which feels awful. And that's another thing. So, you all know the card system, right? It displays how many wins you have and how many losses you have. Which, that whole system, that's a topic of its own. But a lot of people aren't happy with it, and for fair reasons, honestly. I think one of the biggest is that you have to wait to get your rank. So in Overwatch 1, your rank would change after every game. If you won, it would go up. If you lost, it would go down. Pretty simple stuff. Now, you have to either win 5 games or lose 15. Which, to be fair, is better than the old system, which was win, I believe it was win 7, lose 20. Which that, I'm glad they brought the numbers down, but still, it's not the best system. I think bringing back the old one is the best choice. But yeah, speaking of the card system, it makes winning feel not as good, and it makes losing feel worse. So, say you start off your, I don't know, your DPS, right? Say your DPS card is 1-0, right? And then let's say you lose. Now you're 1-1. Okay, not too big of a deal. Lose again, 1-2. Okay, not great, but we keep going. Every time that loss number goes up, it just makes the wins feel not as good and feel more just like a relief. Like, once you get up to like 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5, 6, 7, 8, however many losses. At that point, wins don't feel good. It just feels like a relief that your rank's not gonna go down even more. Cause once you get past like, I don't know, it's so random now. I want to say on average like 2 or 3 losses. After that point, there's very little chance you rank up. The only hope you have is to not rank down. Which, seeing your record after every win, it's just like, it doesn't feel good. But but also, you you all know the whole visual rank and MMR, right? So your visual rank is your gold 1, your platinum 2, your diamond 5. That's your visual rank. But there's a hidden rank that you don't see and you don't know what it is. That is your MMR. And MMR itself feels so weird. Like, it puts you in games that you honestly don't feel like you belong in. Like, say your rank is, I don't know, gold 1. Say your rank's gold 1, but your MMR thinks you should be in diamond lobbies. It's gonna put you in diamond lobbies, which in itself makes no sense. Like, if your MMR says you should be in diamond lobbies, then why isn't your visual rank diamond? You know, it's a it's a really hard thing to understand. Like, MMR doesn't make much sense, and your visual ranks also don't make too much sense. Although will say, actually, there is one more thing I want to say about the visual ranks. It's so inconsistent, the wins and the losses, and how much you go up by and down by. So, for example, a couple days, as you know, a couple weeks ago, I was online with a friend of mine, and I went 5-8, and my rank stayed the exact same, but I only went down in percentage of that rank. I'm pretty sure I went from like top like 12 or 10% down to top 78 ish, something like that. So I stayed the same rank, but only went down percentage. And my friend who went 5-1, 5-1, which is like a what, 80 something percent win rate. He went 5-1. He stayed the exact same rank. I think he went from like top 50 or top 40 to like top 1%. And it's like at that point, just give him the rank. Like, he's gone 5-1. I think he deserves to go up at least one rank. I'm not sure how often that happens to other people, but I've seen it happen a lot. So I just thought it'd be something to bring up. Now, I will admit that they have made some changes to competitive that have made it be- better. Like, for example, in seasons 1 to like season, I think they stopped it in season 4 or season 3. I think it ended season 3. I'm pretty sure. But instead of you keeping your rank and it going over to next season, so say your end of season rank was plat 2, your next season rank would still be plateau. But back in the earlier seasons, at the end of every season, your rank would go down. Now, I'm not too sure why they did this. I think it was to encourage players to keep on playing and get their rank back up. But that honestly doesn't make too much sense. Like, I'm not sure how it's a good idea to, at the end of every season, just bring people's rank down. So it would bring you down like an entire tier. So like instead of being gold 5, you'd be silver 5, maybe even bronze 1. I'm not sure like what the exact changes were for the ranks, but I know it take you down at least an entire like what would you call it, tier? Yeah, honestly, doesn't make too much sense. So yeah, all in all, competitive has felt really weird the last couple months, honestly. And I know they have announced changes coming. I don't think they said when, but they said soon. So I'm hoping that those changes come sooner rather than later, and that they're good changes that make playing this game, or at least playing competitive, just feel like a good experience. Make the wins feel better and the losses not as bad. So yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. Apologies for kind of just ranting. I don't mean to, but I kind of just wanted to say all that. But yeah, and this wasn't really scripted. I kind of just read this off the top of my head. So yeah, hopefully most of it made sense. But yeah, hope you all have a great day, and yeah, I'll catch you all later.